David Otto is a counter-terrorism, security and organised crime analyst, consultant, and joins me in the studio now. Thanks very much for coming in. So,
thank you.
We seem to have these girls targeted again by Boko Haram. How come the government can't stop this kind of thing happening?
I think it's simply because, the government has had, its tactics wrong, in terms of, preventing, a similar attack, which, happened, 4 years ago with the Chibok girls. But if indeed, any of the Boko Haram factions actually has these girls, then it's an indication that, the government has not been able to learn from the what happened in Chibok, 4 years ago. And it's a very, very worrying issue for, these students who are missing.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, it does seem that they managed to rescue them. Do we think they've all been rescued? Is it clear what the picture actually was?
I think that's one of the biggest problems. The information, comes, in halves, and, nobody has been able to have, verified information as to, how many girls are missing, if Boko Haram has indeed captured any of the girls. And this is the biggest concern to that is the fact that, the government, the local government, has then sent most of these students back home, for a 1 week break without actually having done any investigation to ascertain which of the students have been missing, how many has been captured by Boko Haram, or if at all any of the girls has been captured by Boko Haram.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Bring Back Our Girl, there was Chibok, there was a big campaign to bring back our girls. Some of them haven't come back, some of them are still there. So has that sort of left the agenda, sort of the kind of political agenda over there, or is it still sort of something that people are agitating about?
The Bring Back Our Girls campaign, is one of the biggest, preconditions which I think may have pushed Boko Haram to carry out another copycat attempt, on Dapchi secondary school. So I think, is rather something which, we should, keep on the side, because, what Boko Haram has used to bring back our girls is to use that as a propaganda tool, to place the girls as a golden chip, to negotiate with the government. So I think what one has to avoid is to create another Boko Haram Bring Back Our Girls 2.0
yeah.
that
the group would use.
But
it's difficult, isn't it? Because on the one hand, you're saying that actually the government isn't doing enough to prevent this kind of thing happening, but and that we're not getting clear information about what is happening. But on the other hand, a campaign to highlight what is happening, you say would be more dangerous?
Well, the thing is, it depends on the way that, and that is why it's important that, we have concrete information. And I'm sure that, the government as well is quite concerned, and to its disadvantage. So, because, what they're may be trying to avoid is a situation of accepting that, girls have now been missing when they are not really sure about, if Boko Haram has actually kidnapped any girls or not. So I think, within a few days, if Boko Haram has indeed kidnapped any girls, we would see them, portrayed in a Boko Haram video that, the girls have been kidnapped. But for now, it is important, for the government to continue to bring in measures that would prevent, Boko Haram from carrying out these kind of attacks, because they are using it, as a strategic, golden chip, to negotiate with the government. And it's an indication that Boko Haram may now actually be getting help from the Islamic State, foreign fighters who have returned, to be able to have this kind of capacity to carry out this kind of attack.